Trump just announced a $100,000 cost when it comes to the H1B program. And as you know, many people in the Bay Area are H1B visa holders. So what will this mean for Bay Area job workers? What will it be for the future of talent here? And more importantly, because you've been watching to this channel, what will it mean for the Bay Area housing market? So if this is something that is of impacting you, my name is Spencer Sue. We've helped over 350 families with their moves in the last 7 years. And so we are just trying to stay on top of these things and provide expert guidance as much as we can, especially a lot of these details are coming in. Let's review this CNBC article to get a little bit of a clearer idea of what has been announced yesterday. Some things have been clarified today, and we will be monitoring it as the days and weeks goes on. Stay tuned. Let's review this CNBC article because the announcement was made yesterday. There is a lot of misinformation and a lot of things that will unfold, especially as the days will go on, and then more importantly, maybe the next few weeks, as companies decide what to do. But there are a few things that are being more of a consensus. At first, I thought, and I think he probably also said, President Trump, that the $100,000 fee was an annual thing, but it looks like it's a one-time fee. Then people ask, is this happens for renewals? Is it for everybody? Is it people moving forward? Certainly, the first thing that I would think of is this is a big deal, right, to a lot of our high-skilled immigrant side of tech and finance. But you can also see who are the major culprits of some of these, who are the ones being awarded the most. And it's heavily, heavily, heavily skewed. But let's talk about this first, right? It does not apply to 2025 lottery winners. It's coming up for the upcoming lottery cycle. Also clarified, as I brought up, 100,000 fee is not an annual change, as reported by several media outlets. I thought he also said it was annual, but we'll see. Take a look at this. It now has said shockwaves to corporate America. Makes sense. A lot of people, a lot of my clients have asked you, how would this impact themselves and or the housing market? And I'll go over what this likely may mean if things remain what they are. Now, usually what happens for a lot of Trump announcements is that it's a massive shockwave and then it gets significantly narrowed down. I mean, think about the tariffs that have gone on. First, it was a really, really high number, and then it gets people on the table, and then there's exemptions all over the place. It's like a shell of what it is. And my guess is most things, especially how big tech is very close to Trump these days. I'm sure it's going to have many exemptions, but overall, it's interest. It's always been a debate, right? This whole idea of the H1B situation of I have a lot of my clients that are in this category, especially in the Bay Area, but I also know many people that have it and or are not in it. They know the exploits these companies are doing because of it. It works both ways. But take a look at this. In Amazon, they made a visa recipients for this year, 14,365. They are more than what Microsoft, Apple, Google combined. Amazon is just taking clear advantage of this. And this is part of the situation. And then they can work people to death. They have no choice. You're going to keep working because otherwise you leave the country, right? You have TCS, Tata, 5,500. Amazing. Cognizant, 2,493. Deloitte, 2,353, right? These are really, really big numbers. And really, you can have a bias one way or another, but really, really fascinating. Now, this is obviously going to be a major impact for those that are trying to come to the area, and it's obviously keeps people very worried in case they lose their job and they have to get another one, right? That's always been an issue, and this certainly adds to it. It also shows every other company is saying, look, if you are out, you got to come back immediately. I think there's more clarification, but you always want to confirm it. This is not legal advice. Talk to your employer, talk to your immigration lawyer. I'm sure all of this is being rolled out to them. There is no way that they had gotten all this information ahead of time. They're just scrambling to figure it out, right? So they're telling people to get back. The people, if you're about to travel, don't even leave. You probably want to be cautious with it than anything else. And I'm sure you may have heard other stories about it, but better to, I guess, be safe than sorry. So that will reduce some people traveling. A lot of people, especially many of my clients that are Indian, they tend to go back in the the holiday time. So with this, maybe you have a lot of cancellations. We will see. Now, this kind of gives you an idea like of the recipients. This was also another interesting thing by state. It doesn't actually line up that well. We all know California is a very big player, right? You can see new H1B recipients, 13,555. But you saw Amazon. Amazon corporate headquarters in Washington is only 1908. So it doesn't actually match up with that, right? You look at Amazon, you look at Microsoft, they have offices throughout, but their main headquarters and areas are in certain regions. So it's kind of interesting. Did some of them go to California? The answer is yes. But like there's all these other states that I wouldn't have even imagined that had these big numbers. I mean, look at Texas. Texas has 7,200 people that had it. Now you look at renewals. Texas has 20,000 people that are H-1B renewals, while California is going to be one of the highest, or probably the highest, at 48,000. Now, this leads up to the interesting question, right? What does this mean potentially for Bay Area real estate? Now, if you are in a situation and you may have to leave, or you're like so scared, it works both ways in the sense like if you are a renter, you're probably going to be on the fence. And I would say you should probably be on the fence. Just wait longer. Let's see how this unfolds. You might as well just do nothing. Unfortunately, a lot of people kind of got back into it. They were kind of excited to get things going again, but at this point, probably just sit tight until you can get more definitive stance. I think things will lighten up as they usually do, but we got to see what happens. If you are considering to sell, I also don't think you should panic sell either. Let's see what happens. But if you're trying to forecast out and you're like, look, I think this is not going to end well, it's your choice, but you may as well get ahead of things then, right? Than being behind it. You make that bet. I don't have the answer. Just kind of thinking out loud. For those that are looking to make a move, same thing, kind of wait and see. I would say just wait and see for now. Now, the other side of it, as you can see, a lot of those people, it's not everybody, as you can see, 43,000 in a population of millions of people is quite frankly, not even a percentile. But as you can see, if you were a buyer and you were not in the situation, you got a green card already, or you're a naturalized citizen, so on and so forth, this could be an opportunity, right? I mean, fear is always opportunities. And so you could take advantage of this. I don't know if that's how long this may be. I don't know how long it will take, but clearly a lot of my clients are at H1B. They're going to take a pause. And I think that's the right move to do. But those that aren't, this may be an interesting window to take advantage of if you just look holistically. Like that's just the reality of what it is. And some people may panic sell, right? Some people may list their house and they feel like they have no choice. They may need to go. Now, I think more importantly, though, the interesting part is like what happens with the overall talent. Like it's been such a key driver of Silicon Valley, along with the country, of having the best immigrants. And places like India have already been growing these centers of excellence. Like I have many clients that have moved back to India, or people that I know that moved back to India. They took a reduced pay, one third, and they're still growing like crazy out there. So the question is, if this gets removed, do they just accelerate that? Or what happens with that? Was that just because of part of that was the old regime of things, right? That's going to be really interesting to see. So if you are working at any of the big tech companies and you may have considered to move, or you have friends have moved and they're getting paid one third, but their cost of living overall is still okay, and or they may actually be doing better off because labor is so cheap there, especially the service industry and support. I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about like, is this just going to accelerate things? My slight concern, not slight, my concern is it does. But I don't know if that was also part of the old policies where it was very attractive from a tax, everything perspective, versus now Trump is a lot more go American. So time will tell. But if you want to have a conversation and if things do get really bad, I will offer some sort of program for those individuals just to lessen their load. So I will figure it out. So we can always keep in touch if things get really bad, and I will figure out a structure that makes it that helps people as much as possible. Because I hate people moving back. By the way, like I love people that happen to stay here. They get the American roots. They should have the American first because it is a land of opportunity. I'm an American citizen, very lucky. My parents immigrated here from Taiwan over 4 or 5 decades ago. So I'm super strongly believe in the American dream. There's a reason why people are here. There's a reason why I do Bay Area real estate here. There's a reason why this is the best place to be when it comes to tech in the world. And I go everywhere. I travel everywhere. I've been in virtually almost every country, major country out there when it comes to this. And so I hate seeing this, but there are potential options. You know, Canada has kind of taken some benefit of it, being close and kind of have because of immigration, but then they have their own problems going on, right? India has its own things going on, good and bad. Good if you have experience there, bad if you're like an immigrant trying to be out there, not the most favorable for most. So there's a lot of things that we have as a golden goose here, but we will see, right? I cannot control these things. We can only react accordingly and then plan accordingly. But if you want to chat, or if you have a house, or you're on the fence, let's just have a chat. You can go over a game plan. If things do get really messy, we will figure something out. I'm happy to contribute that. My contact details are below 408-547-4590. Thanks for watching. This is an emergency video. See you next time. Bye now.